Hello. Hi, guys. Welcome, welcome. I'm just waiting for a few more of you to come on. Say hello. So tell me who's here. Hi, Sarah. Hello. Let me get my folder of my members' charts for later. Hello, Everett. Hello, Kathy. Welcome. Nice to see everybody. The Eternal Traveler. Hello, namaste. Namaste to you. Love 888 Spirit. Hi, it's your first time live. Well, welcome. I'm glad that you're here. I'm so glad. I'm just looking for my folder of charts for my my level 3 members. So give me 1 second. I forgot where I put you. Where would I have put you? Okay. Maybe that's where. All right, I found you. Okay, so for some reason in my astrology software, you guys are under the miscellaneous folder. That's where you are. So if I forget again, somebody say, we're in the miscellaneous folder. That's where you are. Okay. So, Rikara, welcome. No, what are you late for? You're not late. You're right on time, Rikara. Welcome, welcome. Hello, hello. So, I'm glad that so many of you have joined the live stream today, and there are all different people. I'm doing it a little bit at another different time than normal. Hi, Patrice. Welcome. Greetings from Long Island. Where are you on Long Island? Because I'm from Long Island too. Big astrology party today. Yes, Eternal Traveler. Hello, Monica. Yes, yes, yes. We're going to have a very big astrology party today. So what I'm going to do first is I am going to type in in the message chat room right now. Rockville Center. Okay, nice. I'm in Suffolk County, so I'm a little bit more out east than you. So I'm typing in my website right now because for those of you who are interested in registering for my aspects in astrology class, the early bird registration rate is going to expire in a few days. So that is a discounted rate that's available. And I encourage you to go to my website and register for that class. I think it's in the next 2 or 3 days that early bird rate where you save $50 off tuition, it expires. And if you are somebody who knows astrology already up to the fundamentals, the planets, signs, houses, basic structure of a birth chart, and you want to know now how to put it all together into cohesive, relevant aspect analysis, this is the class for you. It is a Zoom class. All classes are recorded and sent to you. It is personalized using all of your charts for the learning experience. And it is a very, very in-depth but fun class. Class begins in March, the middle of March, but the registration ends soon at the early bird rate. So go ahead to the website and register if you are interested in that. And of course, if you ever want to schedule a personal consultation with me, you can go ahead and do that there. And what I am actually going to do for people on this live stream is if you are interested in scheduling a personal consultation, you can use this coupon code that I'm putting into the message right now, and you will save $50 off of a half-hour predictive session with me. That is only good. This is going to be good for whoever's on this live stream and wants to schedule a consultation. So go to my website, put that coupon code in for the half-hour session, and you will get $50 off. Okay. So your daughter Matilda, 9 years old, is watching with you. Oh my gosh, I have a 9-year-old here. Welcome, welcome. Oh, that's so cool. Love it. Exposing them to astrology young. Beautiful. Okay. And so my final announcement before I start talking about the topic. Hello, Matthew. Welcome. My final announcement is you will see in the chat, there are a bunch of people who have stars next to their names. These are my level 3 members of the channel. And if you are interested in joining today as a level 3 member, just click the join button next to the subscribe button on the home page of this channel, and it will take you to a description of 3 different membership levels: 1, 2, 3, where I offer exclusive content and video content. But the level 3 option is where you get access to me as your personal astrologer during live streams. And I will take your date, time, and uh, location of birth and answer your real questions about life and tell you about the astrology and how I'm getting my predictions for you. So if you are interested in doing that, go ahead and join as a member, but it has to be the level 3 membership for me to look at your birth chart. And I will put your chart in today during the live stream. Or if you want to check that out at a later time, I'm always doing live streams. And once a month, there is a private live stream for members only that you will get access to, where I am just going nonstop, talking to you guys and answering your questions. Okay, so today it's going to be a little bit less of that. There are a lot of members on, and I want to talk about a specific topic. But at the end, I am happy to do a few of you who are here on the live stream. So stay tuned for that. Now, let me get to what I want to talk about. This is a really interesting topic, and so it's going to be a little bit of a personal story. But I tell you personal stories to bring the astrology to life. Always to bring the astrology to life, to make you understand just how powerful it is. And hello, Misty, welcome. As you may know, the north node of the moon is currently in Taurus, and the south node of the moon is in Scorpio. If you want more information on what this means in general, I will put a link to the video that I did on the nodes moving into Scorpio and Taurus somewhere. It'll be somewhere for you to find, either in the description box or above somewhere. Watch that video. It will explain everything about the nodes in Taurus and Scorpio. And that's not what today's live stream is about. What today's live stream is about is talking to you about the significance of what happens when the transiting nodes in the sky make exact conjunctions to your planets in your birth chart, because this is bringing fated life events into your world. And north node conjunctions are typically extremely auspicious. It propels you into your life's destiny, and it is predetermined. This is the part of astrology that is fated. This is the part of astrology where your soul contracted to have these experiences before you got here in your physical body. And the nodal conjunctions are triggering this for you. And so the north node conjunctions are pushing you towards your destiny. Very often, south node conjunctions are helping you release something that is no longer serving you, that maybe already served its purpose in your life path, and now it's not. And you have to kind of move past it. Or sometimes it can bring something back from the past that you need to kind of work through at this point in your current life, in your current incarnation. Okay, so maybe it brings in a past life connection with somebody significant. That's another possibility. And I thought that the best way for me to bring this home was to share a couple of stories. I've been reflecting on this, and I just recently realized this, which is so cool, because I keep an astrology journal, and I always recommend that those of you who are studying astrology, definitely if you're a student of astrology, but even if you're interested in just tracking your own cycles, keep a journal. And it doesn't have to be anything fancy. And in the journal, it's not necessarily about writing about your feelings. It's about writing about your big cycles that you're having and the dates and your actual life experiences, so that you could start to see how astrology comes to life for you. And over time, certain cycles that repeat, you get to see, oh, wow, okay, when this transit happens, this is what tends to happen in my life. Now, that is not the case when it's a long cycle that's only going to happen once in your life, like a Pluto transit or a Neptune transit. But if it's something like a Mars transit or eclipse cycles or nodal cycles, which we're going to talk about now, they do repeat. And so the last time, I have my ephemeris here, the last time the North Node was in Taurus and the South Node was in Scorpio was back in 2003 into 2004. And this, as you know, according to the ephemeris, actually, the North Node came into Taurus around April 14th, 2003, and stayed, which means the South Node would have been in Scorpio, and stayed until we get to the very end of December 2004. So December 27th or so, 2004. So that's the time frame that the North Node was in Taurus and the South Node was in Scorpio. And I have two planets in Taurus. I have Mercury in Taurus at about 22 degrees, and I have my sun in Taurus at about 17 degrees. So in 2003 and into 2004, the North Node of the moon would have made a conjunction to first my Mercury placement and then my sun. That's because the nodes travel backwards. So the nodes start at the 29th degree and then they go backwards until they get to 0 degrees. And so that the later degree planet, Mercury in my case, would have the conjunction of the North Node first. And then as the node went retrograde to 17 Taurus, it would be conjunct to my sun. So this happened to me in 2003 into 2004. The life story was significant at that time in my life. Okay, so I had a 2-year-old, well, 2003, so 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, young children, excuse me. And 2001, my daughter was born, so 2, 3. Yeah, the 2 and 4. So I had very young children. And the point is, Mercury rules communications of all types, right? Mercury is writing, learning, speaking. And Mercury, when the North Node is conjunct your Mercury, which is going to happen for everybody when the North Node gets to your Mercury placement, okay? And this is approximately an 18-year cycle, 18 to 19 years that the nodes will travel. So when the North Node got to my Mercury placement back then, this is just astounding to me. Mercury rules writing and language. And I formally enrolled into astrology school and started to study astrology, and then later became certified as an astrologer. And this began this journey of being exposed to astrology and seeing my birth chart for the first time. And all of a sudden having this inexplainable feeling that I had to know everything about this language. I had to know. I just knew. I knew that. I vividly remember how I was exposed to a birth chart for the very first time in my life. I was at a bookstore and I wrote a book. I wrote a novel and I was trying to get my novel published. And this was a family saga. It was fiction, or so I thought, but it really wasn't fiction. It actually was a real life prophecy that happened a few years later. So I'm at this bookstore intending to look for books on agent representation and how to get an agent. And there's a poster on the wall of this bookstore where there was an astrologer giving a lecture and free mini readings to whoever had a birthday that month. And so my birthday's in May. And I said, okay, well, it's my birthday month. And it might have been April that the lecture was. I can't remember, but end of April to end of May is Taurus. So I went. And I remember going to this lecture with the intention of, only wanting to find out from this astrologer guy if my book was going to be published and if I was going to be the next New York Times bestselling author. That's all I cared about back then. So I'm sitting and he's doing his thing and he's, asking whose birthday is, who's a Taurus. And I'm raising my hand and I'm like, all right, let's go. Call on me, call on me. And I was the last person he called on. And he looked at me and he said, "Oh, you're a Taurus. Sorry, you don't look like a Taurus." And I was like, "What is he even talking about? I don't look like a Taurus. What the hell does that even mean?" So he plugs my birth chart in. He's on the podium with his computer and he's like plugging some mysterious stuff in when I give him my birth information and my birth chart appears. And he's staring at me and he said, "Yeah, I'm sorry. You don't look like a Taurus. You look like an Aries because you have Aries rising." I'm like, I don't know what he's talking about. I had no idea, but I was like, okay, whatever. And I'm waiting for him to tell me something that I wanted to hear. So after the first thing out of his mouth after that was he looks me dead in the eye. And he goes, "Oh, so you're a writer." And I was like, chills. I could not believe that that's what came out of his mouth because that is the exact reason why I was there. And so I proceeded to receive this little mini reading from him. And I'm telling you, like, I had tingles everywhere. And I was just like riveted. And so I said, "How did you get all of that information about me? You don't know me." And he said, "It is through your birth chart. Would you like to come and look at it?" And he invited me up to the podium. And that's when I saw my birth chart for the very first time. And in that moment, you all have had these moments. These are moments in your life where you feel your destiny shifting. And so in that moment, I felt with every fiber of my being, this electrical current of my destiny was shifting. And I knew in that moment I had to learn everything I could about astrology. So the North Node was conjunct my Mercury, and then it proceeded to be conjunct my Sun. And these two North Node conjunctions, when they happen in your life, they tend to bring fated, positive, progressive events that change the course of your life and your destiny. And so the Sun, the North Node Sun connection connected to, I found something that just made me feel like I was aligned to my life purpose. And I couldn't explain it. And it made no logical sense because I went from stay-at-home mom trying to get a novel published, and all of a sudden I wanted to become an astrologer. It was like, boom, like that. Okay. And so now here we are. I think it's exactly 18 years later, right? I'm the worst at math, but I'm looking at my ephemeris here. I'm trying to remember. So in any event, now the North Node is about to make a conjunction again to my Mercury placement. And here I am all these years later, a professional astrologer, and I teach astrology. I write columns, I consult, I do videos, I do radio, I do it all, right? All Mercury, all communications with astrology. But I'm being pushed at this point in my life to learn a new language, North Node conjunct Mercury. And once again, I'm in this position where I don't understand why I feel this pull as strongly as I do. But it is something that I am compelled to do, which is I enrolled in Italian school, an actual Italian school in Manhattan, and I am studying Italian now to become fluent so that I can get my dual citizenship and start to travel back and forth between New York and Italy. And this, I know as an astrologer that even though I have no idea what is going to happen, how this is sort of going to pan out, and what this means, because it is happening at a time when the North Node is conjunct my Mercury and will be conjunct my Sun again, I know that what I'm doing now is going to have some kind of significant impact into my life direction moving forward. And all of you are going to have these similar experiences. Now, all of you listening right now, you may not have planets in Taurus. You may not have planets in Scorpio, which is where the South Node is. But this is why it's valuable to study your birth chart, because you want to learn, well, when is the North Node going to be conjunct my Venus? When is the North Node going to be conjunct my ascendant or my Sun or my Mercury? And look back and see what happened the last time these conjunctions occurred in your chart, in your life. Now, South Node conjunctions, by contrast, can be difficult, not always. Don't freak out, not always, but they can be difficult. My most recent South Node conjunctions happened when the South Node, before it went into Scorpio, it was in Sagittarius. Okay, so the nodal axis was in Gemini and Sagittarius. So last year, when the South Node in Sagittarius hit my Moon Neptune conjunction in the 8th house, I had a very difficult experience. So when the North Node is conjunct Neptune, when the South Node rather is conjunct Neptune, there could be some deception that you find out about. There can be some confusion, delusion. There could be a mysterious illness that happens, sometimes. And when the South Node is conjunct the Moon, you are very often faced with an emotional situation that you have to let go of, that is connected to many past life experiences, that is not serving you. And it's often a painful loss. It's an emotional loss kind of a thing. And so for me, when the South Node was conjunct my Moon Neptune conjunction in my 8th house, I had a very traumatic emotional loss and heartbreak. And then I had a very significant physical illness that lasted for a few months. And that was my last year, but it happened. You have to remember, these are fated situations. So my soul chose to have that occur to really wake me up and force me to let go of certain emotional attachments that were holding me back from my destiny, that were getting in the way of my destiny and lowering my vibration, actually. And so I had to do that. And so that's how some of you may experience a South Node connection. Not always. Remember, don't equate South Node with bad. It really depends on what's going on in your life. So when the North Node was conjunct my Mars in Cancer and my 4th house cusp of home and family, before the nodes were in Gemini and Sagittarius, they were in Cancer and Capricorn. And that was when I bought my house and moved into my very own home. And I lived before that someplace for 22 years. But it was my ex-husband's home. When the North Node was conjunct my 4th house cusp and my Mars, which are like right together, that is when I moved into my home. And this was, again, destiny, fated. It propelled me towards my new life direction, a new path. And I mean, this is just amazing stuff. You cannot make this shit up, which is why I love astrology so much, because when you track your cycles, as soon as you are educated enough in this language where you can do something like that and grab your astrology journal and track those cycles and see what happens in your life and how the patterns in your life are really reflecting what's going on astrologically, it's amazing. But the nodes of the moon in particular are extremely fated, extremely fated. So I see a lot of you have come on the chat, and I'm just trying to catch up with your comments here. Okay. Wow. So Misty, the moon in Scorpio, well, if you have the moon in Scorpio natally, then eventually, depending on the degree of your moon, the South Node right now is in Scorpio. So that means that at some point the South Node will be conjunct your moon. And that will mean something specific to you, because I don't know the degree of your moon and where it is in your birth chart. Okay. So, but in general, what I just said about my experience of an old emotional attachment, letting that go, that's probably going to be a similar situation for you. Okay. So, Love 888 Spirit has a Scorpio sun and a Scorpio ascendant. Okay. The Leo moon is not a factor here. When we are talking about nodes of the moon, we are only interested in the conjunctions. That's where the real fated destined events are happening. So conjunctions to the south node and the north node. And so Rosalinda, you mean a complete birth chart reading? So a whole consultation where I look at your horoscope, and then talk to you about every nook and cranny in your personal birth chart. And then we go and look a year ahead at your individual cycles. That on my website is $425. I charge $425 an hour. A half-hour update where I'm only looking at your predictive cycles for the next year is $200. But I gave a coupon code earlier. Scroll up to the chat, the beginning of the chat. The coupon code is update 50. People who book an update 30-minute session will save $50 off of that session. If you wanted to book a full session, Rosalinda, you can email me and I'll give you a different coupon code that you can use where you could save $100 off of the initial consultation fee. So instead of $425, it would be $325, but that's only for people who are on this live stream. So you can email me for that discount. I just put my email in the chat box there. Okay. So, so what can people like you and me expect when the North Node conjuncts Uranus and our sun in September? Great question. I'm looking forward to this. Okay, so now what M. Ryan is talking about is for Taurus, Sun, Taurus, Venus, Taurus rising, Taurus moon people, if you, even Mercury in Taurus, if you have any Taurus placement at around 18 degrees of the sign, you are going to have something happen in your life that is even crazier than the experiences that I just told you about that happened to me in 2003 and 2004. Because right now we have an additional astrological factor. The planet Uranus is in Taurus. So we've got Uranus, the planet of liberation, the planet of sudden events, sudden change, freedom, making its way through Taurus. And the North Node is in Taurus. And when the North Node in the sky is going to meet Uranus by exact conjunction on July 31st of this year. And that is, I believe it's 18 degrees. Let me just double check. Fact checking right now. Give me a second. So that is going to happen at it's like just under 19 degrees. So around 18 degrees and 40 minutes or so of Taurus is this conjunction between the North Node in the sky and the planet Uranus. So by itself, for everybody collectively, we're going to experience this sudden change in life direction, sudden Uranus, that liberates us, that has to do with a Taurus matter, whether it is finance, whether it has to do with agriculture, land, it's something physical in your physical world, okay? That's generally. But if you have a planet in Taurus, anywhere within, I would say within 5 degrees, that's being generous. I'm being generous. I'm usually a real stingy bitch with my orbs, but I'm going to go ahead and be generous and say within 5 degrees. Okay. So if you have a planet within 5 degrees of this 18 degree, 40-minute Taurus North Node Uranus conjunction, like I do, my sun is at 17. My Mercury is at 22. Like M. Ryan does. I forgot what planets he or she has there. So what we're going to experience is a radical shift in our development where we're going to be ushered into this gigantically progressive point in our soul's journey that we don't see coming. We have no idea what this is, and we cannot predict this. But I will say that I am feeling overwhelmingly that it will be positive, even though it may be destabilizing for some of us because Uranus is involved. Because we're talking about a North Node conjunction to one of our planets, and then the planet Uranus is next to it, we're going to meet people suddenly that change the course of our life. Maybe they'll have a Uranian flair to them. Okay. We're going to go in a direction that seems crazy to other people around us, but makes us feel very aligned to our true purpose. And there's something for anybody who has Uranus right now getting close to either the sun or the ascendant, even the moon. Okay. And if it's happening this year, or Venus or Mercury, if it's happening this year, okay, because it's very special this year, thanks to the North Node being part of the picture. If you have planets there. So let me do the math now. 1840, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 19, 20, 21, 22. Okay, I'm being really generous. Between let's say 14 degrees to 23 degrees. Between 14 and 23 degrees of Taurus. If that's the degree of any of your planets or rising sign, then you're going to experience this. I am going to experience it, and Ryan is going to experience it. I know that this year is going to change my life in a way that no other year has changed my life, because Uranus is in the mix with the North Node. And so for you guys, you Taurus people, I'm talking to you, your life is changing. Now, flip it. Let's talk about the Scorpio people, okay? I don't have planets in Scorpio, but I have a lot of clients that have planets in Scorpio. I'll give you an example. I had a client the other day who has the sun in Scorpio. The sun in Scorpio. What other planet did she have in Scorpio? Oh, Mercury. Hello. So I was talking about Mercury and the sun in Taurus and how great it's been for me. Well, she has the opposite. She has Mercury in Scorpio at 27 degrees, and then the sun in Scorpio. I'm forgetting the degree exactly of the sun, but so when we were having her consultation, she's been a client of mine for years. I said to her, tell me what happened in 2003 into 2004, where you had an experience of having to let go of a man in your life, or you either let go of a man in your life, or there was a toxic conversation or mental pattern that was released, right? South Node Mercury, South Node Sun. And this was in her 10th house of career. So I said, there was something 2003, 2004 that was really toxic for you in your life that was probably making you sick. Mercury ruled her health sector. And there were thoughts or something that you had to release. And there was a man. I think, like you broke up with a man. There was a man connected to your career or an authority figure that it's kind of like released in your life. She said to me, that was the year she disowned her father. They were in a business situation together. It was a very toxic situation. She and I was, again, astrology coming to life. This is amazing. And she said, she was sick. She was physically sick over this. He was very manipulative, and it was a big power struggle with something with this business that they were in together. And she basically broke up with her father. She disowned him during those years. So now, fast forward, here we are now. This conjunction's happening for her again right now. And she's sick right now. And there's something going on with her that is hidden health-wise that I'm trying to help her figure out. And so I advised her, astrologically, what I think what kind of tests she should get and all that. I'm not a medical astrologer, but I know this client long enough to where, and she's a student of astrology, so we can have these types of conversation without, with her understanding the context of it. So I said, indulge me, go get a heavy metal, like a toxic heavy metal panel done. There may be some kind of toxic heavy metal poisoning that's going on in your body. And then I said, okay, let's talk about this man. There's going to be a man that leaves your life again. This happened in 2003, 2004. It was your father. So she said to me, you know what, Maria, my father is on his deathbed now. And when he passes, I will inherit that business. It was connected to farmland and property that we fought about and broke up about in 2003, 2004. I got chills. I can't, even though I'm the astrologer delivering the information, when I talk and it comes to life like this, I was just like, oh my God, this is crazy. It is just crazy, but it's really happening in her life. She does, people die. Her father's very old now and he is not in good health. So that is very likely to be happening for her. She's going to lose the father again. And this is again karmic, fated, destined, but this is the south node rather than the north node. So you see the difference? You see the difference here? Okay. So now Frisia is asking, how about Pluto conjunct Mars, conjunct the south node in Scorpio? Okay. Now, I don't know where that is in your chart. Okay. So remember, I don't know what house it's in, but in general, if we're talking about the south node, there could be, and with Scorpio, we are talking about getting rid of something very toxic in general. We are talking about whether it's a traumatic, violent trauma from your past that you have to resolve and let go of, or maybe there's something going on right now that you have to let go of. Okay. So that would be the positive way that you could talk about that. But this, it could be a little difficult. But again, I'm not looking at your exact birth chart, so I don't want to get deeper than that. So on that note, you guys are giving me such great comments. Oh, Sarah, you're so sweet. Sarah, one of my members, said she can't wait to hear the stories about bringing astrology to life. I'm glad that you guys like when I share these stories, because this is how we learn. And this is how it becomes real to us. When we study astrology, or when we watch the videos on your horoscope videos and everything, you're watching something, but it's not brought to life until people tell you stories and show you and give examples about the reality of what this really means. Okay. So now, for my members, I am going to take a couple of questions. So I don't know. I can't remember who's here. I see Sarah, because you're the one that made the most recent comment. So if any of my members have a question about their life and astrology that they want me to look at, go ahead and ask me now. And remember, if you want to become a level 3 member and have me look at your birth chart and answer any questions, just click the join button next to the subscribe button, and then join as a level 3 member. You could do it right now. I will be able to see it on my platform that you've become a level 3 member. And then you give me your date, time, location of birth, and I'm happy to look at your chart and answer a question. And if you become a member now, remember, I do the live streams at different times throughout the month. And I also do a private live stream for my members only. So it's not open to the public. It is only for my level 3 members. And all we do is talk about your life and your astrology. So Sarah says, it truly helps. It all makes more sense to me. I understand the nodes a lot more now. Good. I'm glad, because they are a pretty important component in astrology when we're talking about the soul and soul evolution, So, okay. So Matthew's asking, how are my nodes affecting me right now? So Matthew, your north node is in Cancer and your south node is in Capricorn. So right now there's nothing about the nodes in your chart that's being triggered. However, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 planets in Scorpio. Okay. So 4 planets in Scorpio, at some point during the next year and a half, you are going to have the south node conjunct each of them. And this is going to be a letting go influence for you. And in particular, so Jupiter is the first planet that the south node will be conjunct for you. And that's going to happen, interestingly enough, when we get that Uranus north node conjunction, the end of July into early August, because your Jupiter placement is 19 degrees of Scorpio. And so Uranus and the north node are going to be conjunct in Taurus at that point, which means you're going to have Uranus opposite your Jupiter. and you're going to have the South Node conjunct Jupiter at the same time. And so I would think that that becomes a very unexpected uh, change of direction that is connected to, for you, it will probably have to do with communications and the mind, because Jupiter rules your third house of communication. And Uranus is it's intercepted in your fourth house of home and family. So there may be some kind of unexpected change or loss of communication with a relative, but it will somehow benefit you. It may somehow be necessary, or maybe there's a toxic family pattern that's going on that you'll have a sudden breakthrough with. Okay, so that's the Jupiter. You have too many planets, so I'm not going to go through every single planet, but that's the first one that you're going to experience, and that's going to be the end of July into August of this year, when Jupiter is conjunct the south node of the moon. Okay, so Sarah's saying, I'm feeling very stuck right now in life. Is there anything in my chart that hints at a breakthrough in the future? Stuck in all parts of life. Sarah. Okay, so now Sarah. Oh, ha, 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 ha. Okay, this isn't funny. So right now, Sarah, you have the moon and, well, you have 3 planets in Scorpio. Okay, you have Jupiter in Scorpio like Matthew, but that's at like 6 degrees. So we're not going to even address that. You have Pluto in Scorpio at 26 degrees and the moon in Scorpio at 25 degrees. So right now, guess what's happening? You're feeling stuck because you're holding on to some kind of old attachments that you got to let go of. With the South Node in Scorpio conjunct any planets in Scorpio, you got to take out the trash. You have to get rid of what is toxic in your life. Take out the trash, Sarah, whether it is a person, whether it is a mental pattern. Okay, for you with the Moon Pluto conjunction, it might be an unhealthy family dynamic, or this could be a friendship, your circle of friends, because this is in your 11th house. Okay, so I mean, the conjunction's not exact yet. It will be exact in March. You're going to be feeling this in March for sure. And so you got to take out the trash, Sarah. Where are you taking out the trash in your life? You tell me. That's what this is saying. And maybe you're feeling so stuck because you're resisting doing that on some level. Or you're, trying to hold on to, controlling the outcome of something. And with the South Node Scorpio, you kind of have to surrender that control a little bit and let go of that. Okay, so Monica wants to know what's happening in my chart now. I've been going through difficult moments in business and in my personal life. Okay. So, well, right now what's going on in your chart is the Saturn in your 10th house. Okay, so this is why the business energy is difficult. Sorry, my dog is barking like crazy and it's really distracting me. I don't know if you could hear it. It's really distracting me. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so let me just take a look here at Monica's chart. So Uranus is square your career sector and your home and family sector. And Uranus is square your Mars placement, Monica. So what that brings is a lot of change and volatility to both home and family, career, and Mars is in your 4th house in Leo at 12 degrees. So there could be a lot of changes that are coming up there for you right now. And it's like an unstable type of an energy. But the good news is that square is finishing. Okay. It's really finishing this month. And different energy is kind of taking over. And in March, I think Uranus is actually going to make the exact square to your Mars placement. And this is this inner restlessness that you're feeling. Mars rules your 12th house of the subconscious, and it's in your 4th house of home and family. So there is this possibly subconscious anger, subconscious feeling that you just have to make a big radical life change, but you haven't been doing it yet. Okay. Now you're a Taurus like I am. Your Taurus sun sign is 18 and a half degrees. So you're probably feeling fed up. You were born with the sun opposite Uranus in your chart. So this is a natal stamp that you have. You are sun Uranus all day, every day, not just this year when transiting Uranus is going to be conjunct your sun. But when transiting Uranus makes the conjunction to your sun in June and July of this year, while the North Node is conjunct your sun, it's stimulating your natural opposition. So you're feeling this gigantic, frustrated restlessness where you want to break apart every aspect of your life, literally career, home, family, relationships, every aspect of your life. You want to run away from your own life. That's how I'm feeling this energy through your chart right now. You want your, and yet there's just that little bit of fear factor right now that's stopping you from running away from your own life, or like, lighting it all on fire and just starting over with something fresh. But in July and August of this year, I think that you're going to get to that point where enough is enough, and you're going to be ready to go towards this new phase in your life. I don't know what that phase is, but I do know, instead of giving up, I have to tell you, because I could relate to this on one level, but yours is more stressed right now. So your chart is a lot more stressed than mine is right now. So for you, this is really, oh my gosh. The sun rules your fourth house of home and family. Uranus rules your career sector. These are the two areas of your life that you want to run away from the most, I think, and create, you know what it is? You feel suffocated and you want your freedom, right? This is a freedom energy, Sun Uranus. You were born with Sun Uranus, but you're a Taurus. So Taurus people want their security. It doesn't match. But right now, the urge for freedom, to express your individuality, to be who you are, is stronger than the security needs. And it's creating this electrical current inside of you that is so uncomfortable. But that is going to force you to make a change in your life that serves your life destiny, where you're supposed to be going at this phase in your life. And so trust this process. What I will advise you to do, because you're in a volatile transit right now of Uranus squaring your Mars, is don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Okay. You might do something really reckless that can burn a bridge with a relative or create a real problem in the family dynamics where you're stirring the pot because you're so sick of it. And I get it, you're ready to do that, but there could be irreparable consequences if your delivery is like throwing a tantrum instead of addressing the situation in as an adult way as you can. And I know you're angry. I could see the anger, and I don't know what's going on in your life. I don't know the details of why you're angry about that, but it's probably justified for your stage and what you're feeling, because it's suffocating you. You feel like you're in this prison right now and you need to get out of prison. You're trying to escape from Alcatraz. You're literally trying to escape from the prison of your life. But you have to remember something. How you escape from this prison is going to determine whether you achieve real freedom or if you just end up in another version of a prison. So think about this in your life. Okay. It's going to be a process, but ultimately you will get to that next phase in your life story and journey. Okay. So many of you are making comments, and I am trying to read everybody here. Oh my goodness. Okay. So Ryan, I'm with you. I cannot wait I really am so excited about this year of my life. Personally, I think it's going to go down in my life history as one of the most dynamic years of my entire life. So Pistine wants to know how the nodes are affecting her. And Danielle Newman, welcome. You're a new Astro Master member. So Danielle, I'm going to answer your question next, but what I need you to do is put in the box your date, time, and location of birth. And then I put it in my system, in my membership files. So I won't have to ask you every time I go on a live stream. It's just going to be this one time. So you'll be next, Danielle, but I am going to now look at Expistine's chart. And I think you asked about the nodes too. Oh my God, you're a Taurus like me. Hello, all of you, you're born on my birthday. Hello. Everything that I said is going to be your life story. But for you, your Taurus sun sign is in the 3rd house. So it is in the 3rd house of communication, and Taurus rules your 7th house of partnership. So there's going to be a radical new development in partnership matters for you, with this North Node conjunct your Sun, conjunct your Uranus placement. And that is happening in the end of in July, the end of July. Okay. But you're going to get the Uranus conjunct your Sun starting in June. You're going to start to feel that in June, or based on the degree of your sun sign. And the conjunction of the North Node to your Sun exactly happens more the mid-August. So pay attention. Literally between mid-June and mid-August, your entire life is changing. I'm not exaggerating, guys. That's how significant these nodal shifts are. But this year with Uranus, it's just like boom, like a bomb is going off in your life. But it doesn't have to be a bad bomb. Okay. In the previous person's chart, it was more stressful, even though she's a Taurus, because she had other planets and other energies at play. For you, this is a positive bomb, just like it is for me. So for you, Expistine, it's a positive bomb. Look forward to it. So now let me get Danielle's chart into the system here. So Danielle, 4/24, 1975, 8:12 a.m. I don't know why my dog is barking like crazy. This is Maple. So London, England. Okay, let's get you in here. London. So, are you in London now? Are you in England now, Danielle? I'm just curious. All right, so here we go. Another super Taurus. Okay, let me see. So let's confirm April 24th, 1975, 8:12 a.m. in London, England. And you want to know about, well, you said career and spiritual studies. I'm hoping for a promotion or at least recognition. I've been working my tail off. Also wondering about my spiritual pursuits. Oh, you're in California now. Okay. All right. So you have so your midheaven, the career sector, is 17 degrees Aquarius. And Saturn is the planet of discipline, maturity. And when Saturn meets the midheaven, it happens once every 28 and a half, 29 years for all of us. It is a time of reckoning in our career path, Danielle, where you are, if you're aligned to what you're supposed to be doing and you've been doing the work and you've been acting with integrity in your field, you reach a point of mastery. You reach recognition and real achievement. Okay. If you are not, Saturn to the midheaven can tend to deflate and crush us. And really, I mean, you can get fired from your job. You can have, endless situations with your boss that are just so stressful. Now, for you, Saturn meets up with the midheaven now. Okay. So right now, what day is today? The 18th. It's actually happening right now. So on the 14th is when you have the exact conjunction. So it's there. It's there right now. Saturn is conjunct your midheaven, bringing this karmic energy here for you connected to career. And so if you are aligned to what you're supposed to be doing in your career path, then you should be getting that promotion. You should be rewarded now with Saturn there at the top of your chart. And the ruler of your midheaven is Uranus and Saturn. Okay, so Uranus is the modern ruler and Saturn is the traditional ruler. And I'm just looking to see if there's anything happening there astrologically. It's really just the Saturn transit there that's bringing you this opportunity for authority, for being the authority. So I do think that you're about to get that recognition and authority, Danielle. And your Taurus Sun and Taurus Mercury are early degree. So you're not going to have you already had Uranus to your sun. You already had Uranus to your Mercury. You're not going to have the North Node conjunct those planets until next year. So I'm not even going to address that for you because that's not this year for you. But you should very much be getting some news soon. Right? I mean, it's right now that Saturn is conjunct your midheaven. And so we just need a trigger. We just need something to trigger that for you. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. Now, Danielle, make sure you're reading the community tab on this channel because the private live streams that are members only, those are scheduled. And I try to schedule it a few days in advance. So they're once a month. Sometimes I'll do twice a month, but it's once a month. That's the membership that of what you're getting is once a month, the private live stream. So join us on the private live stream and I can answer another question for you. So now I am trying to go back. Okay, I did Christine. I'm trying to look at my members in order here. All right, so I did Matthew, we did Sarah, Monica, we did Monica. Connie is next, and then Lotus is next. Okay, so Connie and Lotus, and I think that's where I'm going to stop. Connie wants to know if are the nodes going to affect me this year? Well, let's see. So you have Saturn at 21 degrees of Taurus. So the North Node is going to be conjunct your Saturn placement. You have Neptune at 28 degrees Scorpio. So right now, Neptune is conjunct your South Node. I'm sorry, the South Node is conjunct your Neptune right now. Neptune is in the 8th house, leaning into the 9th house. So I'm just wondering if right now, Neptune is your chart ruler. So what are you letting go of right now in your life, Connie, that was feeding like some kind of delusion in your own world? Okay. Neptune, delusions, fooling yourself, being fooled by others. Okay. There's that theme that's happening right now in your life. And then when the North Node is conjunct your Saturn, which is going to be in July. It's going to really June into July. Okay. Remember, there's an orb of influence here. So June into July, the North Node will be conjunct your Saturn, and you're going to actually see something very positive and structured coming your way in terms of finances. Because remember, Uranus is part of this picture. So it's like Uranus in the sky, conjunct the North Node of Destiny, conjunct your Saturn placement, which is stability in Taurus, in your second house of earnings. So there is something I'm very excited about for you in July that is financially related. Okay. So that's what I have for you. And then Lotus. Okay. So Lotus wants to know about the nodes also. And then I'm going to stop with the membership questions after this. So Lotus, you have Venus in Taurus at about 13 degrees, and you have Neptune in Scorpio at about 6 degrees. Neptune is in your partnership sector, and Venus is in your first house of self. Venus rules your partnership sector, though. So this year, it's not going to be until the very end of this year that the North Node makes a conjunction to your Venus placement. Right? Because remember, the nodes travel backwards. So right now, the North Node is at like 27 degrees, something like that. By December, it's going to get to a conjunction of your Venus placement. So December of 2022 is when you should be seeing something very positive connected to Venus-ruled matters. Love, partnership, if you're married, your spouse, and finance. With finance, Venus rules your second house of earned income and your 7th house of partnership in your chart. So there is something very positive with this North Node connection that's going to happen, but the timing of it is not until December, the end of the year. Now, you could feel this in November because remember, there's this orb of influence connected to it. So let's just say November into December, you should be feeling it. And it is positive. It's a positive development with finances or your spouse or partner or both. Could be both. All right. So I'm just going to try to read some general comments here. thank you all so much for hanging around and joining me today at the live stream. I hope you found this information interesting, relevant, helpful. Let me know. Be sure to like these videos and share them and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Liking the videos gets it out to more people on the algorithm in YouTube land. So I definitely appreciate that. And Danielle, again, thank you for joining as an Astro Master member. Remember, you have access to exclusive video content. So go and check out what you're paying for with your membership. I want you to use your membership benefits and look at your year ahead videos. Look at your astrological love style videos. They're only available to my members. So we got, oh, I'm so glad that you're part of the community too, Danielle. That was very sweet. All right. And my pleasure, Lotus. Good. Yes. Finances should be really good for you. And by the way, Lotus, that eclipse on April 30th is hitting your Venus. Boom. So you're actually going to see this twice this year in different ways. After April 30th and then again in November, you're getting two really positive hits of financial blessings and partnership blessings. All right. So I think I'm going to wrap it up now. I love you guys. Thank you all for your support of me and my work, and I will be talking to you soon. Bye.